Hey everybody, Bella Mahaya Carter here with a question. Do you dream about writing but have a hard time getting your butt in the chair, actually sitting down to write? If so, you're not alone. I have worked with hundreds of writers over the past decade, and my new book, Where Do You Hang Your Hammock? Finding Peace of Mind While You Write, Publish, and Promote Your Book, has won 4 book awards. I was recently asked to be on a panel speaking about writing at a national conference for therapists who are helping people deal with anxiety and depression. And one of the things that I needed to do to prepare for that was to come up with a learning objective. And the learning objective that I came up with was discover the top 3 challenges writers face and how to overcome them. And when I sat down to explore this topic in my journal, I realized that there was really only one, well, first thing I realized was that the 3 top challenges writers face are writing, publishing, and promoting. But as I kind of dug beneath that, I realized, well, actually, there's only one thing that is the biggest obstacle for writers, and that is their own thinking. We writers have very active imaginations, and we sometimes turn them against ourselves without even realizing it. And we create all of these limiting beliefs, and then we believe them. We've made them up, and then we believe them. And there are 6 of these limiting beliefs that hijack writers and prevent them from showing up and sitting down to write. So they are not enough time, overwhelm, a feeling that they and or their writing wouldn't be good enough. And then there's the fear of what other people will say about what you've written. Maybe some people are afraid that they're going to get sued or worse. And then there's the lack of accountability. And then finally, some people say, well, I don't have money to pay for classes and that kind of thing. So these are like sort of like the major limiting beliefs that I see all the time in my clients and my students, and that I myself have struggled with over the years. So I want to just focus in this video on the first 2, the time and the overwhelm, and then I'm going to create a couple more videos so that I can cover the second 2, which is, the last 4. So I'm going to start with time. And what I've discovered about that idea that I don't have enough time to do my writing, and when I see this in my students and clients, I recognize it because I've experienced it myself, because we are just so bombarded by stuff in the world that we live in today. But the time, that time objection, it pretty much always is an objection that hides some other deeper concern. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's a confusion, a lack of clarity. But I have found that when you sit down and you really ask the question, what is it really? You might find that you just, for some reason or another, haven't prioritized your writing. You haven't made it important enough. And maybe that's because you're not believing in yourself, or you don't believe you have anything to say. But really, we make time for the things that are important to us. We make time for the things that we really, really want to do. So if the thing that's keeping you from writing, you think has to do with time, I would encourage you to just go inside, maybe write in a journal, and just explore that, and explore your values. Ask yourself the question, what is important to me? What are my values? How do I want to spend my time? If I could spend my time doing whatever I want to do, what would that look like? What would my day look like? And maybe you don't have to actually achieve perfection in that area, because that's pretty much impossible. But maybe you can just start to explore and loosen your grip on that idea of not having enough time. It also doesn't take as much time to write as we think it does. Sometimes really just showing up for 20 minutes and scribbling in a journal is enough time. Like, books have been written that way. And the other thing that I want to talk about briefly is overwhelm. And I just want to say that overwhelm, the reason we feel overwhelmed is because we're projecting into the future some idea about everything we have to do, and the fact that we're not going to be able to do it. But in fact, overwhelm is just a thought we're thinking of all these things and how we just don't have the time to do them. So if you back away and just come into the present moment and realize, like, no, I'm not going to project into the future. I'm just going to be here right now, and I'm just going to give myself 20 minutes to write or 30 minutes to write, and just be present where you are. You'll find overwhelm won't be able to grip you, just won't be able to have the hold on you that it often does. So that's those are two of the 6 ways in which we can kind of reframe our thinking around the obstacles, or our perception of the obstacles that we have in our way from writing. In the next video, I'm going to talk about this feeling of not being good enough, and also this fear about what other people might have to say about our writing. So in the meantime, if you would like to ask any questions, or if you have any comments, I'd love to hear from you. You can put them in the comments section, or you can respond if I'm sending this via email newsletter. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much, and have a great day.